memory. The first item on the agenda is the approval of minutes.
No.
No?
First, no, because it's a special meeting, so there's no approval of minutes.
Thank you, Aileen. This is the one time I should have had it in front of me. I couldn't print it out. Item
So
number
it's
one.
going-
Item number one is report of the Public Works Director.
Can I just, Aileen Marsh, recording secretary. Yep. Margot, are you recording?
Yes, I am.
Margot?
Yes, I am.
Yes, she is.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so Aileen, is the first item the report of the Public Works Director?
Correct.
Morris McCarthy.
Okay, Mo, go ahead.
Morris McCarthy, Public Works Director. You have a copy of my report, I believe, a written copy.
Yep.
There are a couple of highlights besides the usual monthly report. Summer projects for the Board of Education have begun. We're pulverizing both Lordship parking lot and Worcester Middle School parking lots. In addition, Worcester Middle School has had all the sidewalks around the area either replaced or repaired. Paving will begin next week, resurfacing. Also with Lordship Middle School. In addition, milling will start next week on town roads that have been approved, and resurfacing will start probably a week later, weather permitting. That's it for now.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Mo?
Okay, Mo, first of all, on the paving, because of the lower cost of asphalt, will we be doing more or just saving money?
We're doing a little bit more, not
Okay.
a whole lot. What happens is the prices are changed every Monday up or down depending on the cost of oil. So it's reflected in the roads that are paved in that week. The billing is processed by the company during that week, and it catches up to us when we cut the PO and pay the check.
Okay.
So every week, it could be up or down every week, depending on the number of miles of the street that they do.
Okay. All right. So this is Bill O'Brien, I forgot to mention, but what's the status of the Bunnell flooring repairs?
Bunnell flooring repairs are tied up at the State Department of Education. There's a rocket scientist there that's holding up paperwork on security, believe it or not. It's absolute torture. They will not issue a project number unless all the paperwork is perfectly clear, number one. Number two, if the paperwork is not exact, they don't even call you back and notify you. So, we have to sit on it every day. It's absolute government at its worst. And they're tough to work with. But we're getting there. At the very least, we expect to have all the floors stripped and mitigated, the asbestos mitigation done for the opening of school.
Sounds good.
But, there's a lot of work to do, and the architect has been calling the State Board of Education, the project management office, every day. So it's a poor answer, but it's the only answer I have.
Thanks. Thanks for the update. Also, I want to mention Eli Whitney. I think you saw the email that one of the neighbors sent me and the mayor, and you guys did a tremendous job over there. And I'll have to forward everybody the email she sent complimenting Public Works for the job they did.
Well, thank you. We'll pass it on.
And one last thing, I was wondering with everybody home, it seems like when you drive around, there's a lot of garbage out. Is the volume way up?
Believe it or not, it is. It's more bulk pickup. We increased the time that we do bulk pickup. We were doing 3 days a week and 1 day for makeup. we're doing 4 days a week and 1 day for makeup now. And we started it almost a month early because everyone was home and we were getting a lot of calls. They do about 25 pickups a day. So yes, you do see it.
Yeah, I see it all over town. Thank you.
And it's all by appointment, and they also receive a card in the mail a couple of days beforehand of the appointment date that people have. So we send them a card just to notify them, get your stuff out. You have an appointment for pickup on such and such a date.
Okay, any other questions for Mo? All right, Aileen, correct me if I'm wrong, but the next thing is report of the town engineer. Okay, John, it's all yours. John, you're still on mute.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
John Casey, town engineer. We have 3 items that were submitted on Friday afternoon, and I put that in our report that we put out over the weekend. And they're listed there. The first item is a catch basin that had to be modified in the field when we were installing it due to a sanitary sewer conflict. Is $6,072. That work was completed last fall, actually, and then we just got the request for additional costs Friday. That work did need to be done. We're evaluating the cost now, so that might be something that we want to move not to exceed, and we'll continue to look at the pricing during the next week. Same thing for the next item, which is to reset a curb. The plan did not call for a driveway cut to be put for where there was an emergency driveway access. Really didn't notice it unless you knew it was there on Oronoque to get to Atria. So they put the regular curb in as per plan, but then it needed to be modified after the fact to create a mountable curb so you can get into the emergency access by the fire department. And to redo that was $7,613. Again, we're still evaluating that. And then another item is they had to rebuild the handicap ramp, and we're still not certain if that is something that the town should have to pay for or not. So there was some miscommunication on the direction on how it was supposed to be built, apparently. But then when it was built, it wasn't meeting the proper codes. So the DOT rejected it and had to be redone. We ordered the contractor to redo it, and he wants he's looking for this amount of money for the work, and we're not certain what we're going to recommend for payment on it. So I would say we shouldn't move that one at this point. But the first 2 definitely need to be done. We're just looking at the final costs.
Okay, so they should be do not exceed numbers then?
Yes.
Okay, would someone like to make that motion?
I'll make, okay, go ahead.
I was just going to ask a question, but I guess we could do that after the motion. Go ahead.
I'll make that motion.
Yep.
I'll second.
Okay, is there any discussion? Laura, go ahead.
What is a handicap ramp? I don't understand what that is. Is that?
Yeah, where the curb meets the intersection, the sidewalk comes to the end of the road. There's always a little ramp down with a little with a red tactile.
And that's so like the little ramp, so somebody with a stroller or a wheelchair could get down it.
Yes.
That's $20,000 to do?
Well, they had to rebuild it. Well, we just got the price. We haven't looked at the price. That's what they're saying the price is. But they did have to extend it. It wasn't just the little piece that is at the road. They had to go back and chase the grade. That was why it wasn't quite right. The grade needed to go. You can't just put a ramp that has to meet the proper pitch. So
And then
they had to chase the pitch.
on the item 2, the reset the precast concrete curb for emergency access, that's that back access.
Yeah, off of Arnoak to get,
So
it's an emergency access.
They put in a curb and now they need to remove the curb. Is that what this
Yeah.
is?
Yeah, they had to put in a different curb that could be driven on by the fire truck.
Okay.
Right, Laura, the handicap ramp is also for visually impaired people. Maybe they have a cane and they're doing it on the sidewalk and then it hits that bumpy surface so they know that's the signal that they're coming to an intersection.
Right. Okay. Okay. So we're not going to do anything on item 3. So they were going to do the 1 and 2.
Correct. So, John, the motion could just be to approve the town engineer's report, item 1 and 2, as not to exceed numbers. Aileen and Margot, are you good with that?
It'd be 1.A.1, right?
Aileen?
I can, Aileen Marsh, recording secretary. So I have the 2 is not to exceed dollar amounts. John, is that going to go to the town council with a favorable recommendation?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye, motion carries unanimously. Anything else, John?
Just to quickly, West Broad Street, there's a lot of work going on there. There are a couple extra work items that the contractor is going to be submitting. He didn't submit them on time, so we'll get them next month for you. The Route 110 project, they are trying to get ready to do the final milling and paving. We did talk to the state DOT today. They were considering paving up to our project limit so that they wouldn't order us to extend our paving to their project limit. So that's a little bit of good news on that project.
Oh, good.
So Old Spring Road Bridge, Circle Drive Bridge. Circle Drive Bridge, we're going to be meeting with the neighborhood out there to talk about the bridge coming up tomorrow, I think. The MS4 project, the consultant will be starting to do the testing and the monitoring of the outfalls during dry weather. That's a work task that we have to do as far as the MS4 permits concerned. So that's going to be starting this spring. And the other items are self-explanatory at this point.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for John? Okay, Mo and John, as always, thank you for getting us those reports ahead of time. It does help us to have it ahead of time, expedite the meetings, and then we can get any questions up ahead of time. Thank you very much, both of you.
You're welcome.
Item 4, I did find my agenda, Aileen, thanks. Item 4 is new business. Does anybody have any new business? All right, hearing none, Bill, go ahead, Bill Pearl.
Just a quick question to the guys. Motel Pond, last year we were going to use a treatment, and I know we had to back off. There were some problems with the treatment that was going to, it starts to really grow over come July, August. Is there any plans to go back to that pond project?
Yeah, we have the company checking to see what chemicals they need to use for it, and they will be treating it. Don't have the final resolution yet, but Kelly Kerrigan is working on it through conservation.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other items for new business? Okay, item 5, just a note that our next regular meeting is Monday, July 6th. We know, as always, that is the holiday week. And it's a little different if we're still doing virtual meetings, of course, because you could do them from anywhere if you go on vacation. However, if you know for sure that you're not going to be around, maybe no internet or any access, please let our esteemed secretary know so we can keep track of quorum and everything else. If you definitely know you're not going to be able to make it, let us know ahead of time. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Bill O'Brien.
Second.
That's for
All
Aileen.
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you all for your help, everybody. We're adjourned.